Hello everyone. I'm not in my usual environment. I'm actually out and about and walking. Um, for those of you that, if in case you're not watching this from the future, you should know exactly what this place is. But in case you don't, in case you're from the future watching this video a long, long time from now, you should know that this place is called Toys R Us. And the reason why I'm filming today is because I just so happened to be in town where the Toys R Us was near. And I thought, what better way to immortalize this place than putting it in one of my videos? And why would I need to do that, you might ask? Well, hold on, what time is it? Okay. Um, why would I need to do that? Well, Toys R Us was a place where you could buy like, bikes, obviously, toys, video games. It was kid heaven. It was like everything that a kid would ever want. And now they're going bankrupt for a very specific reason. It's because of kids just don't buy toys anymore. It has been stated that kids just don't care about toys anymore. Kids just like want to go online shopping all the time. Kids just don't want to like go to like a physical store and buy toys anymore. It's all about online shopping. It's all about tablets and iPads and stuff like that. Kids just don't care about toys like the way that kids cared about toys when I was a kid. You know, kids these days just are like glued to their systems. You know, I don't want to sound like that guy, but it's true. Kids these days. So Toys R Us lost out on money, a lot of money, and the other reason why this place went away is because of oh, there's my car, little toy version of my own car, is because of the new owner of Toys R Us basically took all the money and did not care about what happened to the company as long as he got away with the paycheck. That's, if you want to be honest about it, that's exactly what happened. Sorry, I'm just like, my battery's dying. And I just want to make a really quick video about this place and what it meant to me. I'm not going to say that I was a regular at this place. Clearly, I don't really go to this place a lot. I do want to show you some things, though, because there has been photos of, like horror photos of, like, local places, basically, being completely empty. As you can see that it's still as fully furnished as it can be at the moment. There's still a bunch of things here that are not, you know, completely gone, like all the wrestling toys and all the Power Ranger toys. But there are stuff here that are gone, which you can see is exemplary of what people care about these days, like all the video games. All the video games are gone. Every single one of them. But you still see like a lot of like toys and stuff like that. Toys are still here, which I guess kind of goes to show like what kids care about these days. It's just like video games and stuff like that, and that's fine because I care about video games too. But you can't say that that's not the reason. That's not a determining factor of why, you know, this place kind of went away. You know, I mean, think about it. When was the last time you've been in a Toys R Us? And think about younger kids these days. Do they even know what a Toys R Us is? I remember going to Toys R Us was a treat, and which brings me to my very first memory of Toys R Us. I'm gonna sit back in my little car here that I was sitting in. My very first memory of Toys R Us was coming to, so this Toys R Us location is actually kind of new. Not the newest thing in the world, but it was a new location, because there used to be a Toys R Us here in the area that I live. But then that one went away, and then Toys R Us basically came back to town. So in the old Toys R Us location, when I was like 7, maybe 8 years old, I remember my very first memory of going to Toys R Us was being given $20 and basically being told you can spend that $20 anywhere you want. You can buy anything you want. And the very first thing that I saw that I really wanted was this SpongeBob toy. Basically, ultimate SpongeBob toy. Like, it had like basically just uh, a decent sized figure of SpongeBob with a bunch of his accessories. Like every accessory you could think of that SpongeBob puts on, like glasses that he wears for when he's jellyfish hunting, his jellyfish net, his Krusty Krab hat, a spatula, a Krabby Patty, even Gary to put on his head. It was the best. And it was exactly $20, and that's the toy that I wanted. But my sister convinced me to get this crappy other SpongeBob toy, which was a playset of like SpongeBob, Squidward, and Patrick's house, and you would put like little clay moldings on top of it, so it's like a plastic mold, and they had like sparkly clay. I don't know what to call it other than clay, that you would put on the mold to recreate the colors of their little home. And I remember coming home back then and I was like, yeah, that's fine, but I don't ever stop thinking about that SpongeBob toy that I wanted. And it's such a hazy memory because I used to be so little. Like, think of how little, like little enough to fit in this car, little enough to fit in this car, and probably have like someone sitting next to me. I was that small, and I can't believe I was that small. That's why I gotta like pick that person up and just like throw them. That's tiny. So that was my very first memory of Toys R Us, and I remember again being so little that I don't quite remember the place, but I remember the place being like gigantic. It was like amazing. Like the ceilings were high. I mean, the ceilings are high in a store, of course, but they were like 10 times higher. I couldn't see past the second shelf, and the one weird distinct factor that I think of every time I think of that memory is because it was nighttime. I don't know why, but I remember the outside, because the building had a bunch of like big windows at the front. I remember having like hazy lights in the outside. Yeah, you seen Black Panther? You remember that pit in Black Panther where they have T'Challa, where they have T'Challa take the herb and he goes into like the spirit plane. Yeah, like like how the purple sky was all hazy. Yeah, that's what it feels like whenever I think of Toys R Us back then. And I don't remember coming to this store very often, honestly. Not until I got a job. Not until I had like my own vehicle and actually my own means of transportation to get here. I don't remember coming here at all very often. So I can't say that Toys R Us held like a deep memory in me. I thought I could ride this scooter. So I can't really say that Toys R Us holds a very deep memory of me, but a deep memory within me. But I will say that I remember this place, and I remember, it was always a treat to come here because for a long, long time there was like this location was gone. Like the very first the place where I had that first memory went away almost immediately as soon as I went there. And Toys R Us didn't come back until close to my adult life. So every time we went to Toys R Us, it would be somewhere far, far, far away. And it would always be a treat. It would always be busy. It would always be like, oh my god, there's all these toys. I remember the next thing I got was a Sam Fisher action figure. A Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell Conviction, the Bone by NECA. That's the one that I got. And that was the next thing that I got at Toys R Us that I remember. And then the very last memory I had at Toys R Us before I kind of just dropped off of it was when I graduated high school. I started looking for a job because I didn't have a job in high school. Like I have some friends who did, but for me, just because I felt like if I wanted to get a job, I wanted to be able to go there by myself. I wouldn't have to rely on anyone. I didn't want like a ride, just because like my history with like getting a ride home from school sucked. Like there'd be moments where like I would have to wake people up. I would have to wait like 3 hours after just to get a ride, and I wouldn't want to be that guy. So I wanted to wait until I got like my own like mode of transportation. So I had like got a license, got like I borrowed my mom's car, and then I wanted to get a job. I was in college at the time. I mean, I'm still in college, but um, I remember I remember getting into the interview process. It was my very first job interview, very first job that I applied for, and it was really fun. Um, for those that don't know, because Toys R Us is closing, so this is for like people in the future that don't know. But the Toys R Us interview process is actually very interesting. It's a group interview, and what they do is they pair you up into little groups, or like they pair you up into twos, and they set a bunch of Legos in front of you, and they tell you to come up with a toy for boys and girls for the next holiday season, and basically just be creative. And it was so fun. It was very much in the spirit of Toys R Us, toys that it was very much in the spirit of like being creative and like playing with toys, that I thought it was very, very interesting. Um, but uh, it was my very first job interview, so I wanted to impress. So I I did some things, like I asked like questions and stuff like that, and I wanted to make sure that the guy knew exactly what my purpose here was. And I told him, here's my availability because I'm going to college. This is my first semester. I'm going to school on these days. I can't work Sundays. I can work basically like maybe these few days. They said that's okay. We'll work around your schedule. And I get a call from them in class. I told them specifically I would be in class at that time that they called, but they called anyway. They called me in the middle of class, and they told me I got a job. So I was like, yay! They told me, can you work Sunday? And I said, no. I told you guys I can't work Sundays. And they said, okay, well, let me talk to my manager, but let me get back to you. I need your number and stuff like that. And I said, okay. And I gave him my number, and then I called them again. This is, by the way, like a week after the interview, and I had called them during the week after the interview to see if they, you know, they they reviewed my thing yet or stuff like that. So they called me a week after the interview, and told me that I had to work Sunday, and then I told them I can't, and then I waited like 2 more days, and I told them, hey, what's up? I want an update on this thing. I really want this job. They said, okay, let me get your name and number. Let me talk to our HR manager. I go, okay. So I give them my name and number, and then a couple more days pass. Call them again. Nothing still. In fact, I get in contact with who do I get in contact with? I forget. It's been so long ago that I forget. But I called them twice, and basically got the same answer of like, oh, we didn't know, so we're gonna put your name. We're gonna take your name and number again. And then a week passes, and I just physically go to the store, and I ask like, hey, where's this? Where's the guy? And it's, oh, we gave that job to someone else. So tough luck. And it just felt a little bit like, oh, that sucks. I wish you guys had told me so that I could just like start looking for another job instead of like twiddling around and like playing with my thumb. Twiddling with my thumb and and basically just guessing about, whether I got a job or not. So it's kind of sad that my last memory of this place before just kind of going F it was me not getting a job here. But I come here every once in a while just to be like, what would it have been like if I had gotten a job here? Because I work retail now, which is same thing as this, but it's like it's all clothes and stuff like that, and it's different. So I don't know, like would I have been stuck? Would I have stuck around to make it all the way up to here? I don't know. Truth is, I don't know, but I don't know, it'd be fun. But my phone's dying, and thank you all for listening to me ramble on about this place. I'm gonna put up some more videos in the future, as you all know. I say that all the time, but I hope everyone enjoyed this. I hope everyone enjoyed this little video and this little trip down memory lane. It's kind of showing you my Toys R Us experience, and I wanted to, again, immortalize this place before it goes away forever. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.